Also, wood like this that's rotten in the center, people really tend to stay away from. That's because pretty much the whole entire center of this, it is rotten. It is no good. Another thing you need to be aware of, now there is a lot of wood that you can use that's usable in here. Like you can make something small out of this piece all the way down the log here. However, due to there being the rot in there, you need to know that bugs could end up living in it. Like for example, this one right now has ants in it, which I'm gonna have to do something about them before I even attempt to carve this piece of wood or cut into pieces to use. But rotten logs, even though they're not the best, you can still get some good quality wood out of it. I just wouldn't pay that much for the logs because it's rotten and there's bugs. That's a lot of things that's a few things you need to be aware of. I've ran across ants in the wood, as you saw there. In the center there, in some pieces there have been what else? Termites. Not little termites either. I'm talking like the size of my, well, a little smaller than my pinky, but a lot bigger than these little ants here. And hornets have lived in the wood like this before, and then you have to battle all of them before you can even carve it. But yeah, another thing to be aware of is how long is your log that you're getting, how long has it been cut down? Because this tree, you see it's been changed color by the sun, but this has been down for over a year now. So what happens is the drier the wood, the harder it gets to cut. So if you cut a tree down like a cedar tree and then you carve it right away, it'll be to the chainsaw it'll be softer than butter. However, if you let it dry for a while, even a really sharp chain, it'll feel like it's a lot harder, even though cedar is a really soft wood. So for example, if oak, you want to carve it while it's green. If you carve it, same for any type of hardwood, you want to carve it when it's freshly cut down, as opposed to when it's dried out. Here's something I noticed that hardwoods in general do, is they like to split all over the place. They don't just split to the center, they end up finding new places to split all over the place, and it goes very deep down into the wood. This is red alder. Well, doesn't look red anymore. This has been down for a couple years now. However, it's cracked all over the place, way down in the wood. If I cut this in half, you wouldn't see this. However, it'll do that. So here's a rotten piece. You can kind of see the inside. Bugs get to it, spiders, every type of bug you can think of. You have to do a lot to these in order to make it so it's workable. You can just cut the entire rot section out, but then if there's ants, you have to spray the logs. And yeah, another thing to look for though, in the wood, it doesn't have to be rotten. If you see black streaks like that, random black streaks, I would avoid the wood. The reason is because there's nails or some type of metal in the wood that the wood itself is trying to dissolve. That's why it turns black like that. There's anything, if you put on or around a tree and you do not move it at all, the tree will grow around it. You can look up pictures. There's people put bicycles next to a tree and then they forget about it. What happens is the tree grows around the bicycle. People put lag bolts in a tree to tie stuff up. They put, one guy I know, he was milling a log and he cut through a pair of binoculars. At one point the tree was smaller. The guy put on a branch, binoculars on a branch, forgot about them apparently, and then yeah, he cut through the pair of binoculars years later. So you could take a metal detector to the wood you're getting, especially if the wood you're getting is coming from a house, because I've ran into clothesline pins. This piece of wood actually, this log here, see that streak down there? Right up here? There's a nail in here somewhere. I've ran into this particular piece of wood. I've ran into clothesline, pins, nails, you name it. And so if it came from a yard, it's more likely that there's going to be some type of metal inside of it, which you want to take a metal detector. You want to be completely sure. If you hit a nail with your chainsaw, it pretty much will instantly mess up your chain. It'll dull it beyond all belief, and there's a possibility of it breaking some of the metal off and the shrapnel coming back and hitting you, which that hurts.